Part of my tip. That's part of my tip, that is. So it's our Sunday video, and it's going. There's a reason I'm coming to that. So we're getting ready now. We're going to start looking at our videos on a Sunday and even on our Friday videos, integrating a bit of usage through the winter. And the reason I've got my torch on, obviously, the clocks have changed now. It's getting darker earlier. It's getting darker later. So torch, we're going to need a good torch. There's going to be a bit more planning involved if we're going to use the Caravan through the winter, and even if we've got it in storage, again, the torch thing is going to be something that we're going to possibly need, because if you go into the Caravan and it's a little bit later on, it's going to be darker. So having a good torch, obviously you've got a torch on your phone. I think 99% of torch or phones have got torches now, haven't they? Yeah, head torch is really good. So and again, we'll probably put a link to something in the description on the Amazon shop. But a good torch. It's dark in here, isn't it, at the minute? So this is the Better Car 835. It's got that nice bed at the back, nice big washroom in the middle. And then that lovely middle washroom. So there's just different things, and that's over this next couple of weeks, as I say, is we're going to be looking at different things that we're going to need to think about. There's certain things, obviously, through the winter, big essential things is our heating system. So we need to be checking our heating system, and we need to be just checking that on the gas and on the electric. So a good time to possibly replace our gas bottle. If you've not got a huge amount of gas, or you know that you're running a little bit low on gas, a good time to get our gas bottle replaced. And again, if you're replacing your gas bottle and you've got a blue gas bottle, it might be a good time to actually change over to the red propane bottles, because they're going to be less susceptible to freezing up on the colder temperatures. So it's just things that we need to look at changing. Lovely van, this one, isn't it? This has got the single beds. It's the Bailey Unicorn Cadiz. Got a nice washroom at the back there. Again, our review site, I'll pop it up now, so that's going to be sort of where you can see all of the different individual reviews. And over this next couple of weeks now, we're going to be doing more individual videos on every different caravan that we've got, different vans that we've had, and we're going to be putting more review videos, but they're going to be over on the other channel. So make sure that you're subscribed to that if you like the videos that are more reviewy. We are going to put a few little tips on there as well, I think, about different things, just different things that sort of we've got to bear in mind. The Lusso, I can't believe this hasn't sold. It's stunning. And I think the big issue that we've had with the Lusso is, even when you put in a Caravan in part exchange, it's like you're buying a brand new, you're sort of paying out the amount for another Caravan. Obviously prices had come down slightly. I think a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, we'd sort of mentioned about the prices moving down and coming down, and would reprice some of the Caravans. But if people have bought fairly recently, it's meant that they've sort of, if they bought at the beginning of the year, it feels like that you're losing quite a lot of money, because there has just been that bit of a drop. So
if you bought last year,
yeah, they didn't know. It's just been doing that, hasn't it? So it's just a tough one. Yes. Yeah, but I think, again, it's amazing that when we have the NEC, which we had a couple of weeks ago now, the interest that comes back into the market, and that then normally, we've had about 3 people that have looked at new, and we've sort of got somebody trying on finance, so it just sparks that interest back through again. And that's then why we've got a few empty spaces again at the minute. We have actually got a few vans at the back that are going to come over to the front, got a few part exchanges that are still due to come in, so it's still a fairly busy time of year. We've got, well, this year I think we've seen a bit of a slowdown on the family caravans, and I think possibly just with what had been happening previously with interest rates, mortgages and all the rest of it, I think that's possibly had an effect on the family caravan market. But everything else, fixed beds, sort of couples vans, the odd family, it's been really busy, but in general I think the biggest slowdown has actually been
6 births.
Yeah, 5 and 6 births, which has been strange because at the beginning part of the year that's sort of what we were saying. But I think again it might be that we find a lot more families now using the caravans more through the winter, so as I said, it's a really good time now just to double check again our heating system on the gas and electric. We need to check our battery, so making sure our battery is fully charged, because as the temperatures now start to come down, it's going to affect that battery even more. So with motor movers, things like that, if we're reliant on that, we've got to make sure that our battery is really charged. And again, we'll be going into full details on sort of all of these bits and bobs in more detail over the next coming weeks, but this is just a hint into the direction of what we should be doing to get the caravan ready for winter use.
That nice Adrian sold there.
Yeah, so the lovely Adrian next door is just getting that ready to go out now, so he's PDI in that one. Again, another family van, just that bit slow, but I think that we might just see a bit of a pickup maybe now. Some real good interest just starting back up again. I think that NEC show, as I was mentioning before, just sparks a bit more interest. So we need to make sure, as I said, good torch, that is a really critical thing. Our gas, if our gas bottle's getting low, make sure we've got plenty of gas in there, and a good time if you're not already using a propane gas bottle to swap over to the propane. And if you're thinking about swapping the gas bottle over, all that you've actually got to do is on the newer ones that have got the bulkhead regulator like this fixed, it's just our pigtail, and it is literally called the pigtail, so it's swapping that over to the propane pigtail. So there's not a massive expense. Some of the Calagas dealers won't swap butane for propane, so it might be that you need to get an empty red bottle to be able to swap for a new red bottle. But once you've actually swapped the bottle over, it's just the connector. Propane only has one connection, so it's literally just a reverse screwing thread onto the gas bottle, and that's how basically the propane, or whether it's a smaller propane, which are now very difficult to get hold of, or a bigger propane bottle, they're all going to be the same. So another
gas safe engineer needs to swap that on there.
No, you can do it yourself. Yeah, it's literally, they've just got little O-rings in there themselves, so you can't really, as long as it's not making a hissing noise, you can just swap it yourself. So it's just tight, make sure it's tight. Use a little spanner onto that bulkhead regulator that we just saw, so just nip that up with a spanner, and then onto the gas bottle you've either got a gas spanner, so again just making sure that's tight enough, or they do a quick wheel that's got a little seal on there, and all that you have to do with those is do it up by hand. Challenge of that one sold. We'd looked in that the other day, a nice little 2-berth just around here. So this is the little Sprite Alpine 2, lovely little 2-berth. So we've got the single beds, or it makes into a nice double bed, a nice washroom at the back. So again, nice little sort of 2-berth models, which again we've picked up on this year. It's sort of gone back round from how it was the previous years. It's all changed around very slightly. Another good one for the winter is, obviously, if the temperatures are getting really low, is an insulated jacket for our Aquarol, and then we can insulate the actual pipe as well. And they do some insulated jackets for the Aquarol, so there's got an insulation part for the water pump as well, so they're really handy. So it's just things like this now we're going to start looking at, and just the different things that we've got to think about. If it's your first winter caravanning, what are we going to have to look at? So every Sunday for the next couple of weeks now, that's what we're going to be looking at. And again, it's also, as I said, it's going to include bits that if you're storing the caravan, just things to be thinking about as well. So hopefully that has given you a few little pointers for our first sort of getting the caravan ready to use, a bit of market information there as well. And hopefully you found it interesting and helpful. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.